welcome back to the Design Duo. We are here on the 5th of July. Did everybody have a good July weekend, July 4th weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
Great
Beautiful
weather.
Yeah, beautiful weather. Got lots of time with family, some friends, and ready to get back in the routine, honestly, because I had a hard time waking up this morning.
Yeah.
My alarm went off twice, which is unlike me, but it was a weekend we're celebrating, and now next year I was looking ahead, and we have a leap year. So it's actually going to be on Thursday of next year, which I'm like, okay, so I'm planning out my year in advance.
Yeah,
And I'm
Like
thinking,
days off.
Okay, we're taking Thursday off next year, we're taking Friday off next year, and
Oh, heck yeah.
yeah.
And then resting on Sunday.
Oh yeah, won't that be nice?
Yeah.
Though? I mean, versus like the 4th ending your weekend, now it's going to be beginning. So
That's what I was
that'll be
telling
really nice.
That's what I was telling
I feel
Chad.
like
I'm
that
like,
happened backwards.
yes,
It's kind of weird.
because you want to like rest the last day, but then the
Yeah.
next day to celebrate. So
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
excited for next year too.
Yeah. So we have with us today Holly Okeson with HomeSmart Adventure Realty.
Yes.
And Holly is a Detroit Lakes native. And Holly, why don't you just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you and how you got into the real estate world.
So Holly Okeson, like you said, born and raised in DL. I live 10 miles north on a farm with my husband, and we have 3 kids at home, 1 out of the house, and then
You got into real estate.
so we did 2 spec houses, and I did the sale of those, and I really liked it. And
I
then
forgot that you did that.
yeah, we did, and we're gonna
That's
build.
really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we're gonna do some more spec houses. So my husband would do like the manual labor. My brother-in-law would do some of the financial part, and then I did the
Yeah.
dealing with people. And I
Oh,
really
very
liked
cool.
it. Yeah. And I have an HR background, so it kind of goes along with that, dealing with people. And then I'm super organized, I feel, and
Yeah,
that's
you
what I
are.
hear. So
Yeah.
it goes good for keeping my clients up to date, their paperwork in line, and so it just felt like a good fit.
Yeah, so are you going to do more of those spec homes in that same area, on kind of Little Floyd Lake area?
Yeah, we want to. We were going to do them like year after year, but then COVID and
Yeah.
things were
Oh,
just
messed
kind of
up everything.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And the building market and everything has been a little bit crazy too. So
yeah, and I feel like when they got out of it, like my husband and my brother-in-law, then we're just kind of at a standstill, and I'm pushing them to either sell the lots or build more because
Yeah.
we have.
Well, honestly, Detroit Lakes needs it. I mean, we
Mhm.
need some more homes, spec homes for sale with the growing community. It's getting pretty scarce to find right now.
yeah, for sure. Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, they were actually just saying that not long ago, that they wish that more people would be building spec homes and things like that for a few more options or space for a deal to grow, so.
We've had people that know we have them want us to build them custom homes, but my brother-in-law and husband don't want to do that because then you get a lot of demands or wanting things, so we
Sure.
just want to do spec homes.
I agree, 100%.
you can make all the decisions and
Yeah.
have it ready, turnkey, go.
Yeah.
and
Yes,
Don't have
exactly.
to worry about all
Well, that's
that.
the
Yeah.
easy way to do it. That would be like one of my ultimate dreams too, and we've talked about that
Oh,
before.
yeah.
Also, is just like getting it done. I've also been in situations where the builders have built spec homes and then the homeowners purchase them halfway through, and all of a sudden everything's changing, and it's like, oh, this is a headache. So,
Right.
100% agree with you. Just get them done and then sell them. So,
I really want to get into apartments. I would love
Oh,
to.
multifamily.
Yep.
Mhm.
So.
yeah, actually, I agree with that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you recommend to your clients in order to get their home ready for sale? So you've been, first of all, I want to backtrack for a second because Holly, you've been in the real estate market now for how long?
I'm going into my 3rd year.
Okay. And she's knocked it out of the park, you guys. Total women empowerment move. Holly has taken it. Her marketing's unbelievable. She's
Thank you.
been busy. She's been a go-getter. And in that world, you have to be.
Yes.
Because you have to stand up from the competition, right?
Yes.
There's a lot
So-
of competition in this area too, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Not
There's a lot of
Not
agents.
a lot of houses to go around. at the
No.
moment, though.
No, that's the problem. If I had more inventory, I could be selling a lot more stuff. But.
Yeah.
So are you licensed to be able to sell in Fargo too?
Yep, North Dakota.
Yes.
And North Dakota and
Yep.
Minnesota license. So.
Oh,
Which is
that's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause you just sold a home in
Yep.
Fargo.
Yep.
Yes.
That one closes next week.
Okay,
So.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So very cool. So congratulations on that because
Thank you.
I mean, you've made a name for yourself in a very short time period, which is amazing.
Thank
honestly,
you.
there's a lot of people that do try to get into that struggle a lot more, but you have to be aggressive and out there and have amazing marketing, and you do all those things. So
Well, thank you.
congrats on that, really. So back to recommending, what do they need to do to get their home ready to sell?
Declutter is huge. I work off checklists, so every listing I have, I give them a checklist that talks about getting ready for sale, getting ready for the photo shoot, but cleaning just little things like windowsills full of flies and
Right.
cleaning your windows, decluttering, staging things to make it look livable and not like depersonalizing it, I guess, would be a big thing as well. So
Yeah.
they can picture themselves living there, not coming into your home and seeing your home.
Right, which is nice. I mean, the checklist is a nicer way to say,
Yes.
here is a checklist.
Mhm.
You guys go through this versus like, hey, dude, you got bugs all over your windowsills, your walls are lime green, let's, you know, or you got too much stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So the list I use has like outside, inside, kitchen, bathroom, and it just kind of tells them what to do. You know, you don't want rugs all over the place. And
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it
things
forces
like that.
them to really like dig deep into all the fine nitpicky details of things. And I think a lot of people, when they're trying to sell their house, I've gone through this process, but you realize how much stuff you actually have, and then it actually puts like a timeline on this.
Yes.
So that way you can't procrastinate anymore, and you're like, okay, this has to be the goal. And if you just go through that checklist, then there you go.
So do you give them the checklist and then take the final pictures after they've completed the checklist?
Yes, and they actually read it because the last listing was a single guy, and I'm like, okay, he's really gonna need this. And so
Yeah.
I went there the day before, pictures to make sure everything was good, and he's like, I know you said no runners. Is this rug okay? And I'm like, well, runners is more like ugly, dirty ones.
Yeah.
Like a hallway runner is
Right,
okay.
right.
But yeah, they read the checklist and go through the
Nice.
things. And
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a great way to get people prepared for your listing pictures.
Qualifying your clients.
So
Yeah.
that's too, like your listing's only as good as your pictures, right? So I mean, like you got to get those pictures out there. That's what everybody looks at. I'm one of those people too that I'm constantly looking at the MLS.
Same.
I just want to go through and say, what can I change? What can I make better? And
Yeah.
just dream about like all the things I would do on the property if it were mine. So
same. Well, and like my broker made a good point. Like the pictures, you have hundreds of listings or hundreds of showings every day online.
Sure.
So why wouldn't showing pictures to be
right.
great?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always do professional photography for all my listings. The one I didn't on one because they wanted it on ASAP, and so there was just no time. And I'm like, I'm not doing any more pictures myself. I hate taking the pictures. I like them to the guy to come do it.
We
Right.
can absolutely see the difference too. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
Whenever you look through those pictures, they're a lot more high definition.
Yeah, or when you see the toilet seats are up and
Yeah.
or like the realtor in the mirror.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, the flashback in the mirror. That's
Oh,
exactly.
horrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
that before.
Yes.
But
so-
they have gotten a lot better around here. So.
Yeah. But like with
Yes.
any service, I mean, I think people always have a hard time paying or seeing the value. I mean, you guys probably see the same thing in your business, but then I think the listing photos are totally worth it because I have to go through and edit them otherwise and straighten them, and he just gives me a nice little link to download and
Exactly.
up I go. So
Right.
I
so
always
worth it. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that.
Using the professionals in the right departments.
exactly
Yeah.
where you need to.
Yeah.
So, what do you find now? This is always interesting to me between men and women because as a realtor, you're trying to find that perfect home for a couple.
Mhm.
So let's just say that what's a man versus woman look for when purchasing a home? Have you noticed?
Well, he's looking at like the furnace. He's looking at
Yeah.
the foundation, the roof, things like that. And then the ladies are loving the shiplap or love their couch. And I always like get a kick out of that. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
well, let's not
They're
come
not
in.
buying a house,
But,
actually.
or we could buy the same one for a different house. But it's
Yeah.
always aesthetics versus, I guess, more of the mechanical things. The husbands are looking at the higher ticket
In the
items,
garage,
maybe. Mhm.
garage maybe separate pole barn building.
Yes, the
all
guys will.
toys. Yeah. So speaking of that furniture that you were just talking about, how many people actually like say like I want to put this offer in, but I also want to buy your furniture?
I would say maybe like 30% that I see.
Yeah. So you
Uh,
thought you've had that happen
Mhm.
before too? Okay.
Yes.
It's really interesting. I feel like a large part of that also becomes like, I don't have a vision. This sits in here nice. It fits. It works with the space, and I don't want to mess with it. And I really like this, so I'm just gonna go with that and see if they'll sell it. So I feel like, yeah, that's one of those things
Mm-hmm.
I can see people doing. But at the same time, they can get an inspiration from that and then move on and get something better.
Exactly.
So
I just sold one and they bought, a whole bunch of like the games in the basement,
Oh, cool.
which I suppose
That's
getting
fun.
in and out like a basketball.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I love that property.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that
I
was-
love that property. It's such a great property. I was like, ooh, maybe I should move off
Right?
the lake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was, you see that with things if it's like hard to get in and out or if it fits perfect in the space.
yeah.
I personally would probably want to just move my own stuff into a house. I mean, like furniture wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know what's down deep in those cushions.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? I'm like,
Yeah. Another question about men versus women and
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, working with couples and all of that. I'm sure they have different, needs and things that they want out of the space. Do you ever find yourself being a little bit of like a mediator?
A little bit, or trying to like find a happy medium or point
Yeah.
things out. I had one this morning. I was following up on a showing from this weekend, and they're like, oh, the husband liked everything. He checked all the boxes off, and the wife, the kitchen wasn't open enough to the living room. You know, and then you're like, how can I try and find a solution for this? Like, could there a wall be knocked down or something?
Right.
But you're trying to help them compromise, and if it's a
Sure.
little thing, which obviously a kitchen remodel is not a little thing, but if it's something minor,
Yeah.
to try and find that happy medium, or like highlight the positives on one end,
Yeah.
strengthen one of
Yeah.
their opinions.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
We have found sometimes that it can be a little bit of marriage counseling.
Yeah.
So I was just curious.
Right. Exactly.
For sure. And picking out all new things for a home.
Yeah.
So with all the lakes around our area, because we have so many, what
Yes.
are the most like desired lakes that you found for people that are wanting to move onto the lake?
You know, the buyers I have right now for lakes, they want to be where there's action. Someone I'm helping from Arizona wants a lot of fun things going on. They have two daughters that are in their 20s, and so they want them to be able to bring their friends and have fun and come to the lake.
Yep.
Kind
I
of need the place.
Yes.
Hang out. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people want lakes with restaurants on them, so that's Sally,
Oh.
DL, Cotton. I don't get as many people on Cotton. I love Cotton.
Yeah. Is Cotton your favorite?
Yes, Cotton's
Okay,
my favorite
yes.
lake.
So you have a cabin on Cotton. And
Yes.
You've had that for how many years now?
I think this is 14 years, I
Yes.
want to say.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've rented it. We still rent
And
it.
it's a great spot.
That's the best. Yeah, I mean we're next to Curly, so we get all the action.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's super
I
fun.
love Cotton Lake. You know what?
Cotton
We've been
Lake's a
out there
great
together
lake.
before, and
It's
it's
a very
beautiful.
nice lake. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
we-
nice lake.
So I mean we want to buy on Cotton. We're just trying to find something that will work, and
Spot.
well that and you know things come on, they're gone right away, so you have to just be
immediately.
ready.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you know a realtor if you.
I know. Yeah. Yes.
Whenever you're ready for that.
I know there's a
Yeah.
couple of them. I know they're getting up there in age. I'm like I might have to go door knock and see if they're
Yeah.
interested in selling.
Honestly, that's what happened to us.
Did
Right
it?
over there is, you know, they were getting older, and we had been their neighbors for 3 years, and
Yeah.
we kind of just planted the seed. Sometimes that's all it takes is planting that seed, and
Like, hey, if you ever want to sell it, please let me know first.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
especially when you're not like you weren't doing it to try and go get it and sell
Yeah,
it.
And
You wanted it for
to sell
yourself.
it,
Yeah.
To do it for someone else. Oh yeah.
And that's what I want. I'm not even gonna tell them I'm a realtor. I'm just gonna say, hey, we live, on the lake. We're trying to get another place. And just
Exactly.
wondering if you're interested.
Yep, yep.
So-
Well, and you deserve that. I mean, it's to have your own place, and you guys know that by now that you love it, and
Yeah.
so Cotton's definitely your favorite, and
Yes.
that's interesting because I mean, there's so many beautiful lakes around here too, and I always try to think like, where would I want to go if I wasn't on Detroit? But
Yeah.
I love the Big Cormorant area.
Yes.
Love Big Cormorant. I do love Pelican. Where else was I just thinking of? A lake that I totally love recently?
Long or no?
No, it wasn't Long. It was I don't remember. Big Cormorant love, Pelican love, and you love them for different reasons, right? Like, you know,
I think I would really love like Eunice.
Really?
Eunice
I
is
like
nice,
how
but small.
little. Well, I like how little it is,
Yeah.
and with I mean the surrounding people who live on that lake.
It's a
and
cool
everything.
area.
It's a cool area, and I feel like it's more kind of quaint. It's like it's busy because it's more concentrated with being smaller, but at the same time, you know, I don't know. I think I'm more one of those people where it's like I can take or leave seeing all the boats going by all day long. I kind of just want to look in the backyard when it's the off season and just have a little bit of a,
Like serenity.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
don't want to necessarily worry about all the traffic.
Floyd Lake's another popular
Oh,
one. You guys did a
that's
kitchen
it.
over there, right?
That was
Recently?
it. Yeah, I love Floyd. Big Floyd.
I like
Big
Floyd
Floyd's
as well.
beautiful, and their beach is actually really, really nice.
And just the convenience to town sometimes too, you know, when you're busy running kids and everything
Yes.
else. It's nice to have that for sure.
That's
So-
maybe my second choice would be Floyd. Just
Floyd,
'cause close
yeah.
to home, and with my
Right.
husband being a farmer, we can't like
True.
go
Big
anywhere for
Floyd,
the
yeah,
weekend. So
Yep. Yeah, that's a beautiful lake. So being a DL native your entire life. Okay, so I've lived here now for 20 years, and just looking at like the changes that Detroit Lakes has seen in those 20 years, like from the Highway 10 reconstruction and you know the Miguel's parking lot over there getting renovated, so many things. What would you say like as you've seen growth, the styles changing too on some of these lake homes? Because now you go around even Big Detroit or any of these lakes that used to be all little tiny cabins.
Yeah.
And they are like big mansions, right?
yes.
So how have you seen that change as far as in the real estate world from beginning to where we are right now?
Well, I see right now a lot of moderns coming into play. It was all like cottagey or coastal looking before, or not all, but that's what you'd see being built. And now the moderns really, those neat architectural ones.
Right.
We were on the Lake yesterday actually with my grandma, and there's a big stretch on South Shore that are still all the little cottages. And we were like, that's interesting that none of these have the huge mansions right now.
Blown up yet?
Yeah, but I've really noticed a lot of big houses on the lake. There used to be one in particular on East Shore that was the biggest house. I remember that was being built like 20 years ago, and now that's
everyone's like, oh,
dwarfed in size in comparison.
yes,
Yeah.
and now it's like, oh, it's a nice house. I mean, but now the other ones are ginormous. So we drove by that the big $11 million one yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Super.
sold.
Yes, that
Yeah,
one's sold.
to the richest guy in North Dakota.
Yep. Yes. So that was really cool to see. But yeah,
Were they all partying or what?
there were some people out there just
Okay.
chilling. I think they all
They
had
should
the
put it to use.
Yeah.
the 4-day leg with the rest of us just chilling.
Yeah.
Well, I always think it's interesting too. Like we all love cruising the shoreline and looking at all the homes
Same.
and stuff when you're on the lake, and that's the best part about being on the lake. But I go by and I'll see like the cutest little cabins, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I would take that. Like that's just like I love this little brick one that's on the East Shore. That's just adorable in size, and I would be happy with that. You know, I'd
Really?
be content with that. Like,
Oh my gosh, I would. I'd be like,
I'd be content with any of the little cabins. Right.
Yes.
But it is fun because you get all the different styles, and like you're totally right. The modern roof lines. There's a new one that just went up on the corner of East Shore and South Shore that has all the modern roof lines. And
I will say in the short amount of time that I've been here, so August will be 3 years now, but whenever houses were being built, like in the beginning of whenever I got here, the first 4th of July, let's just say, I've seen a lot more stucco come into play.
Oh yeah.
Which
Agreed.
I am loving. I was like, is that even okay in Minnesota with their weather and stuff like that?
Which
Like,
I need to educate myself more on that because I
Yeah.
sold a house that was stucco in
Oh,
perm
great.
and there were some cracks, and she's like, how do you remedy that? And I'm like, I'm not 100% sure, and so I should educate myself on stucco because it's coming more into
they
play.
crack and it has to be filled and things like that. And then like I have a friend whose parents were living in a stucco house. It was built in 1943, I want to say. But they did have to do a couple repairs, and the biggest thing that I saw was woodpeckers.
Oh.
Woodpeckers would come and peck at the side of the house, and then they would create a little divot, and then you'd have to go fill it. So
Interesting.
I see all
Stucco is
these.
beautiful, though.
It is
It's real
so
sleek.
gorgeous.
It is.
Smooth.
Another
Yeah.
popular thing is the LP.
Yeah.
that
Yep. That's
siding.
what we have on ours.
That's what we have too.
Yeah, very easy maintenance on that too, and then you can custom color it too. And
Yes.
but yeah, all the homes, I just love the styles and how it's evolved, and even just downtown Detroit Lakes, how it's evolved, and how much we've grown, and even in populations in the last 20 years is unreal if you Google it.
Yeah, and we just have such a great community, like the businesses that help, and
Right.
I don't know, it's a great place to live, work, and
Yeah,
play, like they
it
say.
is.
Yeah. I
So-
think it's a lot more diversity that's coming to this area too. I mean, there's a lot of new businesses popping up and things
Yeah.
like that. People improving on the actual like town of Detroit Lakes with the, Project 412 and everything else going on. It's a place that I would want to come if I was in Arizona or
Well, like
something
you
like
did
that.
come.
And-
from
Yeah.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
go.
to South Carolina.
But I can
Yeah.
see how people, are gravitating more towards wanting to be in like the big Detroit, like Sally, Floyd area because it's just kind of a great place to be.
It
And
is.
it's safe
Agreed.
also, which I really love.
So one thing I always wanted to ask a realtor in our industry is when we are helping people renovate their homes. So
Yeah.
let's just say they have laminate countertops and they want to switch to granite or quartz, or they have a fiberglass shower unit and they want to do a tile shower, or maybe they've got sheet vinyl on the floors or carpet and they want to put hardwood flooring throughout the whole thing. So what are those all elements that I just listed that actually do improve the value of your home?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think that when you go into a home and you start seeing the updates you have to make, then it's less appealing, and they add value, obviously, and it just makes it more desirable to
True.
just go in. Kitchens and bathrooms are huge things
Yeah.
to have redone. I think
That's what I always tell our clients too. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys, I know it's expensive. Master bathrooms or primary bathrooms and kitchens are always the most expensive rooms to renovate,
Yes.
but they're always the rooms that you're gonna get your money back out of.
Oh yeah.
They definitely improve the value of your home.
I feel like people are willing to pay for the convenience of it actually already being done
Oh.
versus like having to go and live through the whole process. Like once you move into a house, do you want to like not use your master suite for 2-3 months for it to be completely
Right.
renovated and spend all that money? You can absolutely do that, but at the same time, it's like if you're gonna do that ahead of time when you're selling it, it will definitely pay itself forward, like you said, because people
Yeah.
don't want to live through that sometimes.
No, not at all, and they might not have the time or the design style to go do those, where that's where you guys
Right.
can come in and help them,
Right.
but I think if you're getting ready to sell, you should definitely look at making some, even just minor updates, like you said, swapping out the countertops,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
Huge improvement. It makes a world of
Fireplaces
difference.
too, right?
Yes,
I would,
for
I would
sure.
imagine fireplaces would be in that also. And
Yeah.
what are other things that, other than what you've listed, that you think would add that value, extra little value to that home?
Well, new flooring, updated flooring, carpet,
Yeah.
I feel like is going away a little bit, and having hard floors throughout, updating windows, obviously, just for efficiency, and
Sure.
just, that's a big expense as
Sure.
well.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big expense.
It is a really big
You know what? The crazy thing is, we were just talking about this on a previous podcast, but people that are building new construction homes,
Yep.
or people don't realize how expensive window treatments are.
Oh, yes.
So, and it's always like a last minute thought. It's like kind of like when you're getting married and you send out the invitations, you have to buy, $400 worth of stamps. It's
Yes.
like, oh, I wasn't planning for that $400.
Right.
It's kind of one of those things where the window treatments on the home, it's like, holy, that can get expensive too. But
For
the window
sure.
treatments, speaking of those, like Hunter Douglas window treatments, do those add value?
You know, I never really see people throw out the names on them. I do think having neutral window treatments, like blinds that are on there, because I had a listing that had beautiful, expensive, like curtains, heavy ones, but
Yeah.
they were dated a little bit, and so we had to pull them out. And
They probably cost a fortune
oh,
back in
I'm
the day.
sure they were
The maid,
super.
more than likely.
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, I would just do like simple
Yes.
window treatments if you're going to be selling.
Yes, and you can always layer with some fancy curtains and take them with you or something too.
Oh yeah.
But I would
Yeah.
I would agree with you that that's something people don't, like when they're looking at them at a house, they don't like make or break the deal because you don't think about that
Yeah,
at
you don't.
expense. Even when we built a few, 5 years ago, it's
Has it been that long already?
yeah, I think it's
Wow.
yeah, because he was 4, so yeah, 5 years, and
Yeah.
window treatments. You get in there and you're like, oh crap, it's light all the time now. You gotta go
Yeah.
spend a fortune
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
window treatments.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, it makes a world difference. I feel like a lot of people, like you said, they overlook that. And also, like, I think going back to what you're saying in your checklist and things like that, I mean, prioritizing on your checklist the things that immediately have to be done. But if you've got an entryway with sheet vinyl and right next to your door you've had some water damage or something and it's kind of like curling up, don't just throw a rug over it.
Yeah, no, because people, like when I go into listings with my clients, I mean, we lift up rugs and look because
Yeah.
why is there a
Because
rug
people
in that
hide
spot?
stuff.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
if there's a rug in an odd spot, you
Like,
Yeah. Oh,
this
for
looks
sure.
a little bit
For sure. Even when we
familiar.
bought the house we're in, we had like carpet in there and they had the furniture placed ever so cleverly. And when the furniture got moved out, there was stain after stain after stain. I was like, oh, that's why they had the furniture there. So,
right, like that makes
not like
sense.
I wasn't going to rip it out anyway, but,
Right.
that's a really good point too. So,
Well, and another big thing is obviously first impressions, even curb appeal when you pull up, and that's on one of the checklists. I mean, you don't want stuff all over outside and cobwebs everywhere. Just make it so you
True.
pull up and you're like, oh, this is nice.
right. Yeah.
You know,
Like,
updating,
smells
like-
is another thing too.
Yep, I always have them, get an air freshener. Not too strong, but just a nice,
Yes.
fresh, clean smell,
Yeah.
especially if they have pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like one of the items on the checklist is like replacing your house numbers if they're all rickety and falling apart. Just a fresh-
Cobwebs. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
True.
So
Totally true.
yeah.
So, like, what's the most intriguing or inspiring thing that you've seen when you've gone into somebody's home that you're like, oh, that's so cool? Like, maybe it's an accent wall or a really cool fireplace or, a really unique kitchen. Do you have anything like that you walked away from thinking, oh, I've never seen anything like that before? That was really beautiful, or
I'm trying to think. I mean, I love when they have 2 washer and dryers right now, like
Oh,
upstairs
me
and
too.
downstairs. That's
Yes.
like my dream. I wish I would have
or
done
even
that.
stackables right next to each other. Like,
Yes.
oh man, I could get so many clothes done if I had 2.
Yeah, I should have. I mean, I've seen cool things. I'll have to think on it for a
Or
little
2
bit.
dishwashers. That's
Yeah.
something I really want to do if I ever build is do
Or
a
like an
dishwasher
industrial
on each side
dishwasher.
of the sink.
Like a restaurant
or
dishwasher.
that, but just so you don't have all the dirty dishes sitting out, because you can fill a dishwasher real quick when you're entertaining.
Oh, for sure. Or like the ice makers that are in the cabinets. Those would be super cool to have for hosting, especially.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like every
Yeah.
time someone, were to come over or something, it's like you immediately run out of ice. That's the
Oh,
first
for
thing.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're always going to the store to buy more, so I think that's pretty cool. Otherwise, no, I'd have to think on that.
I think I just had a client send me a picture yesterday of like a really cool accent wall in a dining room where I can't even explain it. It was white on white, but it was like dimensional.
Oh.
And just super cool. And I just love pulling, like we're always saying that I get the majority of my inspiration just from my clients, because everybody comes in with a different idea, right?
Yeah.
So then, and they've got a different idea, and they show us a picture. We've been out to their house, and it's like, wow, that's really inspiring, and I really love your style, or and it's fun to build off of that. And so I just think Detroit Lakes has so much to offer as far as the real estate world goes, because everything, you know, keeps growing in value.
Yes.
And our town is such a beautiful tourism town, but a great place to live also. So
I
I'm
agree.
hoping that we'll just continue to grow, and you'll be a huge part of that.
Yeah.
And I think that you got in at a really great time. And like I said, you're knocking it out of the park. So
Well, thank you. And like you said, like DL, there's so much versatility too. There's lake homes, and then there's farm, rural stuff, and
Yeah.
hunting, and there's just so many different things.
So you
places
get a lot
to
of
live.
other
There's
stuff.
something for everybody here.
There really is,
Yeah.
yes.
Like, are the majority of your clients that you worked with, this is a good question too, are they from town already and they're looking for a different home, or are they moving here from a different place?
Ironically, I have helped a lot of people move. 3 people from Michigan, which I don't
Oh.
know how that, and they're not like related, but isn't that random?
Yeah.
Someone from Montana. I have a client from Arizona right now.
Okay.
So yeah, a
So
lot of
like
people are-
full-time homes or like lake homes?
Michigan and Montana are full-time people,
Okay.
and the Arizona are looking for a lake home.
Okay, so just
But-
new people that
Yeah.
got jobs here and are moving with families?
They didn't even get jobs. They kind of came, and
Oh,
they were
yeah.
wanting to move here
Yeah.
and then looking for house,
Yeah.
looking for jobs, but they had family. One had family in Park Rapids, one had family in Fargo, but they wanted to live in DL.
I love that.
And I always am like
Yeah.
quizzing them, like, why DL?
Yeah.
Like, especially if your family's in Fargo, and they
Bring
say,
you here.
yeah, like, because the lakes, they like the lakes.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's
so-
awesome. Wait
yeah.
till winter.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, although Michigan and Montana, they'll get it a little bit.
Yeah, the one from Montana, they bought in the winter, but the Michigan have all bought in the summer, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
Right. Well, that's same with Roxanne. I mean, she came up here July 4th weekend for her first time.
okay.
And it's like, yeah.
And I was
even
brainwashed
Detroit
into thinking
Lakes.
that it's always going to be this gorgeous.
Right? Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
And even
So-
like when showing homes, if it's like a dreary, cloudy
True.
day, and like lake homes especially,
I
you
bet
can
that
just tell the
affects it.
vibe. They're like, okay. And then if it's a gorgeous day, they are like,
They're like,
God,
I
this
know
is
about it.
awesome.
Yeah.
So true. So
it's
true.
like if you're,
When
you know-
can we close?
I know exactly. So I try and like look at the weather and it looks like Thursday. Even for myself, for showing,
True.
it's nice when it's
That's
beautiful
smart.
day.
Oh,
to-
that's a smart
That is
going
a
to
smart
tour.
strategy. Okay,
Yeah.
so another question for you, just because I like I said, love looking at the MLS, but do you foresee the market in Detroit Lakes continuing on the level that it's at right now as far as pricing points and things go? Do you foresee lake homes, you know, kind of staying where they are, going back down, or going up higher?
I feel like they're gonna stay where they are, or maybe go up a little. I don't think things are gonna keep going crazy like they were just because of interest rates.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
hard. However, a lot of those people buying the lake homes, you know, for 800,000, they're not getting a loan for 800,000, so the
Yeah,
interest rate
true.
isn't as huge. But I don't think things will keep jumping like they were. However, on the same token, there's no more lakes being made, so
Mhm.
it's kind of a
You know what I find interesting is, so I have family out in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at the real estate market on Coeur d'Alene Lake, it's insane. I mean, to get like a tiny little cabin, you're over $1 million.
no way.
Something that totally needs to be done. It's actually quite interesting.
I should
So
look it up.
I look at that and then I'm like, okay, well, will Detroit Lakes, like the lakes around here, ever be to that level? Because I mean, I know that that's a, you know, gorgeous, gorgeous place with mountains and then the lake and everything
Yeah.
else. But like you said, they don't make any more lakes. They don't make any more land either. But it's just the demand, I suppose, is where it's at, right?
Well, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of people probably too that are like coming into their own with their careers and settling down. Their kids are getting older. They want to, you know, eventually come back to the place where they came as kids, and that's a lot of it. I mean, these people that you met with that are from Montana and Michigan, had
Yeah.
they been to Detroit Lakes before and had visited and
Yeah,
any of that? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they must have came on 4th of July weekend like you.
they must
They
have.
didn't come in January,
Yeah.
but yes.
So okay. So what's your favorite part about living in Detroit Lakes?
All the activities, water carnival is like my favorite thing. I
Ooh.
think I love doing water carnival events.
Yeah.
Well, Polar Fest. We just try and do all the things the community offers because there really is always something to do, like
There
trucks
is.
and tunes, or
Yes.
you know, like the water carnival, Polar Fest, the fireworks show. There's always something going on.
True. That's what I love about DL too.
Yeah.
And it's ever changing growth and all the fun things and all the fun. Well, I can't talk all the fun things that Project 412 is going to be bringing into town. As
Yeah,
well.
I need to learn more about what that is
So-
because I've been seeing it on social
Yes.
media, but I don't really know
Yeah.
all about it. So I'll have to
Well, I
look
can
it up.
tell you.
Yeah, you
I can
should.
tell you, I'm a wave maker.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But so Holly, thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
us today. Is there
thank you,
anything
Holly.
else that you'd like to add to any of the viewers watching as far as the real estate world goes?
Well, obviously my advice would be, get pre-approved.
Yeah.
Make sure you know what you want, but also don't buy right away. I was helping a client that they called me to show them a house. They loved it. They were like, yeah, we want to buy this. But I said, well, we should probably look at a couple more just because I think that you shouldn't just look at one and buy it. So
Yep.
I just want to make sure I do my due diligence and then showed them 2 more and then we went back. But they had a strong offer on that one, no contingencies, things like that. So
Yes.
just kind of be knowledgeable. I try and give especially first-time buyers, a packet that talks about the different terms and explains everything out, and just do your homework. So when you do go to make an offer, you have
So I
all the
actually do have
tools.
You have
a
some
serious
ammo.
question.
You know
Yes.
what you're talking about.
yes.
So any of the homes that we've ever purchased, we had a contingent on selling our home. Is that not a thing anymore?
Yeah, that's hard to get right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I was wondering because everything's being snapped up so quick.
They're definitely not. When you have a listing and you get an offer like that, it's obviously if you have multiple offers, that would be.
The lowest
The
one.
less desirable of them.
But I have done 2 recently, and it went really smooth. But it's obviously, and you put timelines on it, of course. It must be listed within X amount of days,
Yep.
and if we get another offer, you have X amount of days to remove that contingency. So it is kind of a gamble, which on
Yep.
both sides it's hard because, when you were trying to buy that one, and you had yours listed, so all of a sudden you get yours sold, but then
Yeah.
they want something removed. It can just
Yeah.
a dicey
Oh,
situation.
for sure. Yeah, it gets a little tricky that way, and that's what's changed a lot. From our point of view, and we've only been there for 5 years, but 5 years ago, it was fine to do a contingent on
Yes.
selling your existing house. Yep.
And I do see, a couple of years ago when I was doing it, there was no contingencies, but now inspection ones are common, and again, or they're being accepted, and I always push for an inspection contingency. I just think it's a good idea to
Agreed.
even just learn about how the
Never know,
systems
unless
work.
you have a professional come in and they can uncode something or find
Yeah.
something that's wrong, and you may have never ever known. So
Right.
it might be worth doing.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining us
thanks for
today.
having
Again, we
me.
have Holly Okeson with Home Smart Adventure Realty, and she is right in Detroit Lakes. If you guys are looking to buy or sell, she can definitely help you out.
Yeah, we're right on Washington down the road, so.
Perfect. Thanks, Holly.
Yeah,
Have a great
thank
day,
you.
everyone.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.